What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another community showcase. This time it's the 5th community showcase that I upload onto YouTube. So for that reason, I'm gonna do a few extra boards in this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. The first rig of today's video is from Duckender. As you can see, he has 6 ESP8266s hooked up to each other. He basically hooked them up the exact same way as I made a video about. I'll show it right on top of here in the video, which you can click to set them up yourself. But he just has the ESPs hooked up to each other. In the back, in this red box down here, it kind of looks like he has a Raspberry Pi as well, but I can't confirm or deny that. So I'm only showing the ESP8266s. Maybe Duckender himself could say it in the comments if it's a Raspberry Pi or not. It's a really simple setup. It's a beta setup for him, as he told me, but I'm really curious how it's gonna evolve into an amazing rig. It's really basic, but he followed my tutorial step by step. So in that case, I'm gonna give him a 7.5 out of 10. The next setup is from the Fancraft. He has 10 Arduino Nanos, which you can see on the top on the shelf. He has 5 over there, and he has 5 down here in blue. I really like the added detail of duct tape around the cables. It's a little bit messy, but you can see on the amount of chips that he has on his desk that he likes to experiment with these type of boards. So I really like that. If you have some future fun plans for this rig, please let me know. I'm really curious about it. Also, I have no clue what these other boards are that are on his desk, but judging on the 10 Arduinos, I'm gonna give this rig a 7 out of 10. The next rig is from Ross Geller. I personally really like this rig because he used a really old PC case to set his entire rig up. In this PC, he has 7 WD1 Wemos Wi-Fi boards and also 1 Arduino Mega. This setup averaged him around 30 ducos a day, but the aesthetics are way more pleasing than just having them lay on your desk. Also, what I really like about this rig is that he also put an LCD screen on the front of this old PC, which shows you basically what his username is, how many miners he has working, and the amount of Duino-Coins that he has in his wallet right now. Overall, it really fits the theme of old or cheap boards for mining Duinocoin combined with the old PC. So I really dig this rig, and I'll definitely give this a 9 out of 10. Good job, dude. The next rig is from Joshua Stringer. He basically made a USB chain miner. It's just a USB stick which you plug into your PC, and it gives you all the questions with the uploaded code, what you normally get with a PC miner. This is probably one of the most easy and very smart ways to mine Duinocoin. You just plug it into your PC, you can give it to anyone, and it will mine Duinocoin for you. I definitely recommend buying a lot more USB sticks and doing the same to this, and just hand them out to people, or maybe sell them even, because it's just an amazing concept overall. I think it's really unique. I don't know exactly how much Duinos it's gonna get, because it's probably gonna depend on what PC you're running, but I'd assume it's probably around 10 ducos a day, maybe a little bit less depending on how good your PC is or how bad it is. But with that being said, the clever thought of doing it on a USB stick, I'll definitely give this an 8 out of 10. The next rig is from Tiny Art. This has a lot going on, which he didn't really explain what kind of setup he uses. As you can see, there are a lot of boards. There are ESP8266s, and there is the ESP32s in the front. He also has a LED screen built into the ESP32 right here on the green board. And I'm really curious how many boards you have in total. So again, if you watch this, please let me know in the comments, because it's just amazing how many boards there actually are. Also really smart to put the fans in the back. I can imagine that these amount of boards get heated pretty quickly, so it's always good to have a little bit of cooling on your rig. Also, the cable management for these amount of boards is pretty decent. You could go a lot less neat with so many boards. It could get chaotic really quickly if you have to wire up all these boards and make it look neat. And these boards are in a tower design, which I really like, if you didn't know that already. So I really dig this rig, and I'm really curious about specs. How many Ducos do you make? How many boards are there actually? And just tell me about it. Anyway, I'll definitely give this rig an 8.5 out of 10. Really nice. The next rig is probably one of my favorites of this episode. It's from J. Carl, and he has 12 ESP8266s hooked up into a slim PC case. It's really neat how they hang from the top of this case, and the RGB that he uses in the back. Even though there are a lot of cables that you can see, it's really nice that he uses vibrant colors to actually hook them up to make it pop even more with the RGB. He also uses a 5-volt power supply in this PC, so it's basically self-sustaining. The only thing you now need is a Wi-Fi. I really like this rig, it looks amazing, so I'll definitely give you a 9 out of 10. The second to last rig is from Remigio. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. He has made a little shelf for his 5 ESP8266s so they can stand up. It's really basic, he just hooked them up in line, and I believe he centralized powering all these 5 boards with the USB cable that's on the bottom of this shelf. The only downside of using this connection board, I don't know the exact name of it though, is that the cable management looks pretty bad. These cables basically go straight up and then straight down. Therefore you get these loops that you can see on top. And it looks a little bit chaotic. It would be really neat if you made like a little case around it, so you just wouldn't see the cables, and maybe add an LCD screen so you could actually see how many Ducos you got. Overall, it's a really basic rig, but it gets the job done pretty well, so I'll give you a 7 out of 10. The last rig of this video is from DR Bubbles. He has, I think it's 44 or 43 ESP8266s. There are a lot of boards in this single rig. He almost hits the max board cap that you can have for Duino-Coin, which is 50 boards, if you didn't know. He did something very smart, and that is to hook it up to this green board that you see in the background. He probably bent the pins a little bit, and on the back hit the cable management of the entire hookup for these boards. That way he only has to power the top 3 boards of this entire rig, and those would power the other 10 or 11 that are below these top boards. He also has a little tower of 11 boards. I really like that as well, and overall it's just really clean. And in my opinion, I like to just be really clean with my rig design. So without seeing too much cables, this is definitely one that deserves a thumbs up. So with that being said, for the last rig, I'll give you an 8.5 out of 10. So that was the extra long episode of the community showcase from Duinocoin. I hope you really liked the little bit of extra effort I put into this video to show you guys a little bit more rigs than I usually do. And with that being said, this was the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys next week. Ciao!